Welcome everyone to another installment of AIH Florida Friday Facts overview. As usual, I will also go through some other additional information, do a little bit of a deep dive, but not too deep, as well as some other additional information that I may have found throughout the week, either through emails or just have come across it from anywhere else, particularly as it relates to AIA. And as usual, there are going to be links down below for you to follow up with any additional information that you want to learn more about. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. All right, here we go. The big news of the week is the retirement of Vicki Long, an honorary AIA member. She is the Executive Vice President and CEO of the Florida Association of the American Institute of Architects. She announced her retirement Friday. For 17 years, she has guided the association through unprecedented growth and challenges, gaining both national and international recognition. And I quote from her, "I've been in the association and legislative arena for 32 years. She's the first woman executive vice president and CEO of AIA Florida. She says that neither are considered particularly low-key, and she looks forward to pulling back on the throttle a bit during her retirement. Under her leadership, she forged years of working for the Florida legislature. Long aggressively set about to create a state-of-the-art ground game for grassroots advocacy. Victories include protecting Florida's qualifications-based selection process for design services, leading efforts to resist a sales tax on architectural services, working with a consortium of businesses associations to replace Florida's joint and several liability laws with proportional liability regulations. She also spearheaded efforts to resurrect and update the architect and engineering fee guidelines for the first time in nearly 30 years. She is well respected by past AIA National and AIA Florida President Mickey Jacob, and he recognizes that her leadership in government affairs and legislative issues has been a major influence in protecting and enhancing the practice of architecture in Florida. Vicki Long has established the People's Choice Award program, which allows Florida's non-architectural community to recognize excellence in Florida architecture as an outgrowth of AIA's Florida's celebration of its 100th anniversary in 2012. She's also broadened Florida's architects' exposure through expanding the annual design juries to international recognition locations such as London, Tokyo, and Paris. So that's a big recognition that she has led the way to make sure that Florida architects are recognized worldwide. And with such a long and dedicated career, we can surely spend the better half of the day describing and listing all her accomplishments. One thing is for sure, though, is that if you're an architect in Florida, you have most certainly benefited from Vicki Long's accomplishment. And for that, I send her my deepest gratitude, and I wish her the best in the next phase of her personal and professional life. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, Vicki Long, for all the hard work that you have done. So moving on with the regular legislative session, we have HB 1131, the University Consortium Management Bill. This bill has passed favorably out of the House State Affairs Committee despite heavy opposition by Florida architects, engineers, and builders. My question is, who is backing this bill? HB 1131, University Construction Management, challenges Florida's Consultants Competitive Negotiation Act by allowing universities to use price as the primary factor in the selection of construction or program management. CCNA, or QBS, quality-based selection, is used across the state of Florida in 46 states and in the federal government for procurement process. This bill would change that for the state university system chipping away at CCNA and the qualifications-based process. So hopefully, the voices from architects and engineers gain some momentum, and this is able to stop without it becoming law. Senate Bill 2512, the documentary stamp distribution, stamp tax distributions. They passed both this one and 2514 to establish and fund the Resilient Florida Trust Fund by revisiting the outlay documentary stamp process. That money will now go to the affordable housing programs, mitigating sea level rise impacts and enhancing wastewater programs. The House also passed 2512 by a 73 through 238 vote. Additionally, the SB 1954, the statewide flooding and sea level rise resiliency, has cleared the House by unanimous 118 vote. It would spend up to $100 million per year on projects to address flooding and sea level rise. The AIA Florida board has met technically on Friday at the 2020 People's Choice winning hotel, which was the Don de Cesar Hotel in St. Pete Beach. The board heard a report about the successful virtual legislative day. We received an update on the 2021 Strategic Board and Strategic Council, discussed advocacy, legislative and regulatory affairs, heard committee reports on resiliency, professional development, emerging professionals, communications, engagement, and other things, and also talked about financials and many other things. The next meeting will be held in early July. Next is a Florida Set Spring webinars. Of course, this is where you'll be able to get some of your HSWs as well as some information about products and services that are being provided. An NCARB update. NCARB ARE updates. There was an email received from April the 6th, and it's about a 30-minute test run with Prometrics for online proctoring. That was the title, so if you are part of their email list, you should look it up. You'll probably find it. Otherwise, you can always click the link down below. So the update is another reminder to schedule a test run that will help you identify any issues with your setup. So treat this appointment as a real exam, meaning that you need a clean desk, no one else can be in the room, etc., and all the other pre-requirements that you'll need. Be prepared to use the same tech and room setup that you'll use for your actual appointment. Review the online proctoring requirements document for details. One of the links is right here. Once you follow the link down below, you'll be able to follow one of these links as you need to. Connect to the internet via Ethernet during your appointment, no Wi-Fi. You'll also need a minimum of 3 megabytes per second of dedicated bandwidth to support the exam. Most places should be able to afford this, particularly if you are at home. When testing online, microphones must be enabled at all times, and headphones or headsets are not allowed. Before your test run, confirm that your computer meets NCARB's and Prometrics minimum system requirements, including the latest web browser and an external webcam. Minimum requirements, you can follow them here for more information. A reminder from NCARB about their equality and inclusion efforts, and I quote, Since 2016, NCARB has used non-gender language and titles on the ARE. For example, they use architects and owners and contractors and other ways that are non-gender specific. When testing, make sure that the candidate, this is you, the test taker, interprets the question from the perspective of the architect and answers each question accordingly. Your questions are from the perspective of the architect. Please do remember that. An update on the tech issues. Not much has changed since the last time. As you can see, the issues are pretty similar to last month. You can see here, last month we were at 10, 8, and 19 for online proctored exam, and this month it's 10, 8, and 18. So about a 1% drop in general. It is in the right direction, which is better than nothing, I suppose. But we shall continue to keep an eye on this and expect a significant improvement in the following months. Once again, not necessarily on a month-to-month basis, as this is hard to do, but most certainly we should take a look at it from, February until June, July, maybe even August, to try to see a significant change and improvement on issues. In continuation of the email, Florida Building Commission meets Tuesday. The Florida Building Commission will meet at 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday, April the 13th. The Commission will hear an update on the work plan for the 8th edition of the Florida Building Code and have a workshop relating to Rule 61G20-6.002, FAC, among other regular process. I think this is another crucial part of what the AIA does, being a part of the rule-making process. AIA Florida architects and other professions must adhere and follow the rules of the building code, so it is crucial for us architects to be involved in part of that process. The next code would be it's done every 3 years, so the process starts as soon as the 2020 code comes into play in 2021. Then we start that process again to receive comments, and as we just see here, it starts on Tuesday, April 13th to start that process. If you have something that you see wrong with the code, go through the process, contact AIA, particularly Rick Logan, and see what it is that we can do about that particular issue. Another reminder that convention is nearing, and to do all that you need to in order to participate or even potentially attend the convention. As a reminder, housing scammers have been reported to be contacting people about the AIA Florida room block. Once again, in order for you to schedule or reserve your room, you must do it yourself on the AIA's Florida website. AIA will not contact you about this. You have to do that yourself. Finally, another reminder about submitting your projects. AIA Florida welcomes the submission of your work for consideration in the Florida and Caribbean Architects magazine, especially recent architectural projects and stories that expand the narrative of the region's architecture. We are open to many more topics, and so if you follow one of the links below here of Submit Now, it will take you to this web page where you will fill out this information, upload your files, and your project profile description and any other information that you wish to submit for review. And in other news, as I mentioned throughout the week, I received an email from AIA National about the COVID-19 resources and updates that they provide. This was last updated on March 19th of this year, and currently the information is divided into the business, the economy, career, human resources, legal, other relief, as well as other free resources that do not neatly sort of fall into one of these other categories already provided. Once again, this is another reminder that AIA has plenty of resources, and many of them are free, that AIA members, including myself, may not even be aware that they exist. So this is an opportunity to increase the awareness of some of those resources, as well as any other thing that I may come across. I'll be sure to share it with you all and provide links down below for those of you who wish to follow them. Well, today appears to be a little bit longer than previous Friday Facts, but I thank you for taking the time to listen to what I've had to say and what I had to share. Hopefully you learned something or have been able to keep up with the many things that are happening in Florida. We're always looking for content and information to share, so if you know anything else that you would like to see included in here, feel free to send me an email. Feel free to contact your local AI component, communicate with them, let them know that what you're looking for, and it'll sure be able to get up to me or to us here at the Florida board, for us to be able to make any changes or pursue such initiative. Once again, thank you for your time. See you next one.